Assalamu alaikum. This is Sarah Bazan explaining Unit 3, the Hello Book. First, we are going to know the name of the unit, the future of food. The unit starts on page 26. Okay, let's deal first with the objectives of the lesson. Okay, as you see, the objectives includes reading 2 articles about future, source of foods and more sustainable farming. It includes writing essays and also some listening activities, speaking, and the language, which is the grammar of the unit, and life skills. In this presentation of the PowerPoint, we are going only to deal with the reading topics and some of the listening parts, but the speaking part and the life skills will be left to the student itself to make more practice at home, okay, to reach the maximum outcome. Okay, so are you ready? Great, let's start. First, we are going to deal with the vocabulary that will be included in the reading parts of the unit. The first word is agriculture. It's the science or practice of farming. Crop, a plant that's grown in large quantities, especially as food. Innovation, the introduction of new things, ideas, or ways of doing something. And innovation is a noun. Livestock, it's also a noun. It means the animals kept on a farm, for example, cow and sheep. Production is another word noun. It means the process of growing or making food, goods, or materials. Sustainable is an adjective. It means involving the use of natural products in a way that doesn't harm the environment. Variety means several different things of the same thing. As you see in the picture, so hydroponics. This is a noun that means the process of growing plants in water or sand rather than soil. Organization. It's a group such as a club or business that has formed for a particular purpose. It means a big company. It's also efficiently. If someone or something is efficient, they work well without wasting time, money, or energy. So it means that doing something in a clever way and also in a good time. And efficiently here is an adverb. Disguise. Look at the picture. Oh, what's the man here? He's changing his appearance in order not to know him. So to change someone's appearance so that people cannot recognize them. Continent. This is a large mass of land surrounded by the sea. Okay? We have 7 continents of the world. Removal. It's a noun, okay, from the verb remove. When something is taken away from or out of the place where it is, to take it from its place. Factual, okay, this is an adjective. It means that something is based on facts or related to facts. Algae, okay, it's a very simple plant without stems or leaves that grow in or near water. As you see in the picture here, it's grown in the sea. Invest, it's a verb that means to buy shares, property, or goods because you hope that the value will increase and you can make a profit. Like women, they invest money in buying gold. Okay, now we move to the first reading part that we have on page 26. Page 26 of Unit 3. Okay, so you will have time and you want to think of these questions here before we are introduced to the reading part. Okay, so farms keeping livestock for meat production. Okay, so do you think this will happen in the future more or less? Innovations like technology to dry land that is very wet. Again, this will be in the future. More of this kind of technology and innovations or less. The variety in the sources of food, we have a lot of varieties or few ones. Scientists creating a variety of new food. Again, we will have the scientists involving in making different kinds of food, or this will be less. The chemicals, the use of chemicals to help crops grow faster. Again, this will be more or less. So what do you think? For example, I suggest that chemicals will be in everything we eat in the future. Farmers using electric vehicles. So now the human part will be less. People will be using more machines in the future rather than people or hands. So what do you think? Okay, now let's. Okay, so number 1, the answer will be B. New solutions for our growing world. Article 2, the answer is A. Changes in agriculture that can save the land. Okay, so these are true and false. So again, it's about the same 2 articles. You are going to read the articles and answer the questions. Okay, I'll provide you the answer, but you can simply pause the video until you do the activity and then continue back again to find the answers. Okay, so the answers here for number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, again, this question is in the same page 27. It's about the same article. You are going to complete the table with the correct information. You write about the problem and the reason and the possible solutions. So you have gaps to fill in. Again, the same. You can have time to pause the video and do the activity, okay, and then resume the video again so to check the answers. So here is see the answers for the activity. Okay, so these slides, okay, and then the questions, okay. Also, the answers will be provided to you in the slide. So take your time to answer first when pause the video and then continue to check your answers. Okay, now we move on to the language part, which is the grammar of our unit. It talks about the future. It talks about the future. The first tense we use in the future is the present simple. As you see, the form consists of subject plus am is an are plus verb ing and then the complements. So when I'm doing an affirmative sentence, I say I'm going to the cinema tonight. The negative will be I am not going to the cinema tonight. When I'm doing a question, I would say, am I going to the cinema tonight? Okay, if I'm putting the subject as she, so I would be using is. She's driving home tomorrow. She isn't driving home tomorrow. This is the negative. Is she driving home tomorrow? As a question. Okay, using are. They are playing football at 7 p.m. They aren't playing football at 7 p.m. Are they playing football at 7? So these are the different forms of the present continuous. So what about the use? How I use the present continuous with a future meaning and when? I use it when you have already decided or arranged to do a fixed plan. You have a date and a fixed plan and you're already having an evidence for it. So simply you use the present continuous. Okay. Also, we have some keywords to tell us that this is future. not present continuous as something we talk about it in the moment, like when I find tonight, tomorrow, this afternoon, at 8 o'clock, this weekend. All of them give this the meaning of a future plan. If I have a decided and arranged plan or a date, I use the present continuous. Okay, let's see be going to. First, the form. The form is the subject plus am is an are plus going to plus the base form, which means in an infinitive. The verb is in infinitive form, then the complements. So I would say, I'm going to go. I'm going to go there. She's going to play tennis. We are going to visit her next week. This is the affirmative sentence, the positive one. What about the negative? I'm not going to go. She'sn't going to play tennis. We aren't going to visit her next week. Okay, the question. Am I going to go there? Is she going to play tennis? Are we going to visit her next week? So, what I'm seeing here is using the be going to, then the verb in the infinitive form. Okay, so what about when? When to use be going to when I want to talk about future? I use it with plans and decisions. When you decide to do something in the future, so you use be going to. Also, when you have predictions, but with an evidence. With an evidence, you have a proof that this thing that you predicted is going to happen. You guess. You guess about something, but not just guessing. Guessing with an evidence. Like this sentence. There are 2 black clouds. It's going to rain. So I use going to, then rain. Why I use going to here? Because I expect that this would happen. This is a guess that there will be rain, but not just the guessing without an evidence or a proof. No, I see 2 blue clouds or 2 black clouds. So this means that I have an evidence of my guessing. That's why I used going to. I can use more of the frequency adverbs like next week, next year, next month, whatever, all indicate future plans. Okay, now we have will. So will, the form is the subject plus will plus the base form, then complements. So I would say, I'll have a cup of coffee, please. She'll be my friend. You will marry me. All of them will plus the verb in the infinitive form. So what about the negative? I will not have a cup of coffee. So will not, we change it into won't. So I would say, she won't be my friend. You won't marry me. The question, I will start with will. Will you have a cup of coffee? So it's will, then the subject, then the verb in the infinitive form. Will she be my friend? Will you marry me? So this is the form of will. Okay, the important part. When do I use will? So we said, when do we use the present continuous? When do we use going to plus the verb infinitive? And how now we are going to use will. So if you remember, just a second, I said that I'm going to use the going to if I'm having a prediction, a guessing about something, but with an evidence. Will is the opposite, is to have a prediction about something that will happen in the future with no evidence. I'm just guessing with no proof. It's something that you think it will happen. Some of the expressions that make you know that we use will is the verb think, believe, expect, hope. All of them gives the meaning that you are predicting and guessing something without an evidence. So I say, I think I will pass in the exam. Or the second thing I use will in when you decide to do something at the time of speaking. It's raining. I'll take my umbrella. So now it wasn't raining while you were standing, but suddenly it rained. So you took a decision now to go and get an umbrella. So this immediate decision, you will put it in the future of will. You say, I will take an umbrella. Also, I use will in offers, promises, and requests. Like, I will help you. Okay. Will you give me a glass of water? Okay. Will you lend me this paper? Facts about the future. When there is a fact about something in the future, so again, you use will. Christmas Day will fall on Tuesday this year. So Christmas Day, always we know that it's the end of the month on the 31st. So when it will be on Tuesday, this is something will not change. It will be on Tuesday. This is a fact. So that's why I used will. When I say that I will be 25 years old, okay, it's known, it's a fact. Next Thursday, I will be 25. I am sure about this. This is a fact. So I use will. Okay, I'll have a cup of tea. So when you are in a restaurant, you are here requesting something. I will have it from a waiter. So you use I will. Okay. Also the shall. Shall we use it when we request, like will. Shall I open the window? So this is an offer. You are offering somebody something. So instead of say will, you use shall as an offer. Okay. This is an activity we are going to do. This is not in the book. This is an extra activity provided in the slide. So as a practice on the future. So let's do it together. Look, the red car over there will be what? Excellent. Is going to crash. Because what? You have an evidence. Don't worry about the car. I will phone a taxi. I will phone a taxi. Why? Because this is an immediate decision, happened in the moment. I think I be rich one day. I will be. I think. You're not just hoping for something. Number D. Excellent is going to have. Very good. I will call you when I arrive home. He is going to vote. I will love you forever. It's 9 o'clock, so you are going to be late. All right, I will lend you some money. I will have a glass of wine, please. She's going to study, okay? So we have the future continuous. What's the future continuous form? It's the subject plus will plus be plus the verb ing. So I will say, I will be flying across India this time next year. He will be waiting for you tomorrow. We will be driving our new car. The negative, I won't be flying across India this time next year. He won't be waiting for you tomorrow. We won't be driving our new car. So I put won't to make it negative and then continue be and then the verb ing. The question, how I form it. Will I be flying across India this time next year? Will he be waiting for you tomorrow? Will we be driving our new car? So again, I put will, then the subject, then the be, then the verb ing. So when do I use the future continuous? I use it when an action will be in a progress at a certain time in the future. So something will happen in the future and it will take time. Okay? So I say in 1 year, in 2 years time, this time, next year, tomorrow. So you put a time frame, a period of time that something will happen in the future. So I put it in the future continuous. Like the future perfect, the future perfect. It's subject plus will plus have plus the past participle form of the verb. So you will say, for example, you will have finished school by this time next year. She will have had the baby by tomorrow morning. They will have taken the test by 8 p.m. The negative, you won't have finished school by this time next year. She will not have had baby by tomorrow morning. They won't have taken the test by 8. The question, will you have finished by this time next year? Will she have had the baby by tomorrow morning? Will they have taken the test by 8? So, when do I use the future perfect? I use it when something have already happened before a certain time in the future. The action is completed in a specific time in the future. Okay, so for example, you started something in the past, but still in the future it will be completed. Like for example, when you have taken a course, you started the course and the course will be finished, for example, in 2 weeks. Okay, so you say you will have finished the course in 2 weeks. It means that it started already with the course, but still after 2 weeks it will be finished. Future perfect continuous. So I would say what's the form? Subject plus will plus have been plus the verb ing. So you say I'll have been studying math. She will have been reading books. We will have been running. The negative, I won't have been studying math. She won't have been reading books. We won't have been running. The question, will I have been studying math? Will she have been reading books? Will we have been running? So, when do I use the future perfect continuous? It's related to the future perfect, but adding something which is a certain time. So it's something that you have already happened before, as we said with the future perfect, but a certain time, that it's taking time in the future as well. Okay, so the emphasis will be on the duration of the action, the time of the action. I say I will have been teaching English for 4 years by the time I get my final degree. So it means that when you finish your degree, you will be doing this action. And of course, teaching is a period of time, and you said for 4 years, so you put a period of time that will happen in the future. Okay, so let's have a practice this about all the tenses of the future that we have covered together. Okay, so I will do the first 2 with you, and then I will give you time to do it, then provide you with the answers. So let's look at number 8. I can't join you tonight because I stay at home. So here, yes, very good. I will be studying at home, because this is an action that takes time. The sky is gray, so you have an evidence. I think it's going to rain. Very good. This is a prediction about something with an evidence. Now I will give you time to do from C to J, and then you will be provided with the answer. Okay, now I'll provide you with the answer, and if you think that you have still the time is not enough for you and you need still more time to do the activity, you can pause the video, finish the activity, and then the next, when you continue with the video, you will find the answers. So Anne will have finished her assignments. Peter will be traveling across the USA. Will you marry me? This is a question. By the end of May, the students won't have completed the training period. In 2 years' time, I will be playing golf in Spain. My mother is starting a new job tomorrow. What are you going to study at UCLM next year? I hope I will earn more money one day. Okay, now let's move the activity to the activity in the book. You will find it in page 29. This activity is from the book itself, page 29, activity 4. It's about the future simple or the future continuous. Okay, Also, you will be taking time to do the activity in the book, and then you will find the answers in the video. You can pause it, do the activity in the book, then resume with the video to check the answers. And here are the answers. Okay, great. So now let's move on to the dialogue between Amir and Hani. So you will be reading it. This is the first part, slide. This is the second part. Again, you can pause the video at any time you want to take more time into reading. Just pause the video and look at the dialogue. After you will be doing the activity here, which is ordering the things you need to do. Okay, after that you do this activity in the book, check your answers. Okay, great. So again, this is the reading test that you have in the book in page 30. So you take your time to read it, but you have to skim it, not give more time, because you are just simply choosing a summary for it. And then your answers here. The correct answer would be B. At the moment, most people don't know about eating algae, but this is likely to change in the future as we try to find more sustainable sources of food. Okay. Highlighted ones in bold, we are going to match them to here. So number one, in my opinion, is in my view, because of, due to, in conclusion, to conclude. An example of this is in the case of. The subject of this essay is, the essay will focus on. And firstly, secondly, lastly is the same as first, after that, finally. Okay, after this page, after this activity, you will find on page 32 King Lear. And we know that King Lear is omitted part from the units, and it will not be included in the exam, and it will not be studied. So you're not going to study what's on page 32 or 33 or 34. Okay, 35 till the revision part. So till 35 is not included, and you're not going to work with it. Now we move on to the workbook. Okay, you will find it at the back of the book, of the student book itself. So the first activity starts on page 14. Page 14. Okay, so we will be providing you with the answers. So simply you check all the questions and the activities in the book, do them first, answer all the activities in the workbook, and then in the video you will be provided with all the answers to check the correct answer for you. So for activity or the first exercise, here are the answers. And again, of course, if you need to give yourself time, you can pause the video at any time and resume later to check the answers. Give yourself time to do the activity first and then continue to check the answers. The next activity is matching the numbers with the words. Also take your time and then check the answers. Take your time to read this first, pause the video, take the time to read, answer the activity, on to the next slide to check the answers. Okay, excellent. Let's move on to page 15. So this is an article talks about the future of forests. So you are going to read the article quickly and then answer the two questions above. What happened to Costa Rica in the 1980s? Who will be visiting the Amazon rainforest in the future? The answer will be in the article. Okay, these are more questions about the same article. Again, as I said before, and I keep saying, pause the video, read and answer the questions, then resume the video to check the answers. Okay, we move on to the third part. Complete the sentences with the future continuous form of the verb in brackets. Okay, so take the time, do the activity, and check your answers. So here is the answers. Okay, then the reading part on page 16. Hydroponics. Remember, we said hydroponics is what? Is to plant using water, to grow plants using water instead of the soil. So this is an article about hydroponics. Questions 1. So you are going to read and choose the correct main idea. So this is the correct answer, a new way to grow plants. Question number 2 is true or false. So you will be reading the article again. Give yourself like 5 to 7 minutes to read the article again. Pause the video. After you read the article on page 16, do the activity for more 4 or 5 minutes and from answering true or false, and then check the answers from the video. Number 1 is already done as true, number 2 true, then 3 true, 4 false, and 5 true. So a little more. So here is the answers again. We move on to the next reading activity. Here we have parts from an essay, paragraphs from the essay. Remember the activity that we have done in the student's book? It's almost the same idea in the workbook activity. So you are going to put the paragraphs of the essay about urban farming in the correct order. So we are going to order them. So now you pause the video, do the activity, and then resume the video again to check the answers. Okay, so here are the correct answers. Okay, so now we have finished all the activities and the exercises related to the units from the student's book and the workbook. The next of the video and the slides are exercises, more extra activities and practice. Okay, related to how the exam comes. It's the style of the exam, the same questions as the ones that will appear in the exam. Okay, at the beginning we have general exercise on the vocabulary. Okay, is choose the correct answer. So as you see here, you have some exercises and also the answer is provided in the video. So for example, number 1, corn, wheat and tomatoes are what? Very good. Excellent. Crops. Okay, what about modern farming techniques? Number 2, modern farming techniques help increase the A of farms. Excellent. The agriculture. Okay, so you stop the video first here and then you do the rest of the exercise, and when you resume with the video, okay, you will find the correct answers for all the sentences as it appears to you right now. So simply, before just continue with the video, you are going to do the activity first of the slide and then continue with the video to check the answers. Okay, the next slide starts from question number 11. So again, do it and then you can check the answers when you resume with the video. You pause pause. You have to pause the video in order to give yourself time to answer the exercise, and then just resume with the video. You will find the answers. Okay, we move to the grammar part. It's a choose as well, but this is focusing on the grammar. Okay, number 1, for example, I eat next month. So, is this a fact? Yes, it is. So, what are you going to choose? Very good, excellent. I will be. Okay, now let's continue. Again, you will be looking at the activities, the questions, and then you will find the answer in the video. Okay, next, from 6 to 11. So this is the correct answer. Again, you pause the video. Don't forget to do the activity first and then check your answers. Okay, this is still more. So at this time, no answers on the video appearing. So you pause it. You pause the video, do the activity, then resume. You will find the answers. Okay, now we move on to a question which is about situations. Okay, you know the situations. They tell you if you are in this situation, what is going to be your answer. Like number 1, you want to ask for more information about the exam. You want to ask the waiter to bring you some more rice. You want to ask the booking clerk about the time of your flight to London. You want to borrow some money from your friend. Your friend is getting fat and he asks your advice. Your cousin is traveling abroad on business. You wish him. You are invited to concert. You accept the invitation. So all these are situations. So you think, what is going to be your answer, your reply in such a thing? So in this slide, you will find the questions. So you pause the video as well, do the situations, and then in the next slide, these are suggested answers. It doesn't mean that this is only the correct answer. This is only suggested. Okay, so these are just suggested ones. Okay, so it doesn't mean that any other answer is impossible. No, there are more than one correct answer. The next part is a translation. Okay, so again with the translation, you will find the part translation from Arabic to English and from English to Arabic. Again, there is an answer provided, but this doesn't mean that this is only the correct answer. In translation also, you are open to having alternatives. You know, we learn to have synonyms. It means that this word can be changed to many words. So, for example, this is a suggested answer for the first one. Then we have another one in English. And this is a suggested one for it, suggested answer. So like number 1, overpopulation in Egypt has led to many other problems like illiteracy, heavy traffic, and unemployment. The government should exert more efforts to bring down the population growth rates. It should also pay more attention to the development of human resources. So I can say إن التزايد السكاني في مصر قد أدى إلى الكثير من المشكلات الأخرى مثل الأمية وازدحام المرور والبطالة، ويجب على الحكومة أن تبذل المزيد من الجهود لتقليل معدلات النمو السكاني، كما يجب عليها أيضا أن تعطي اهتماما أكبر لتطوير الموارد البشرية. So as you see here, this is one suggested answer. You can change. Okay. Number 2, energy is necessary for development. It's essential for all productive activities required to achieve higher standards of living. Man's great progress in industry and agriculture is due to energy. I can say إن الطاقة ضرورية للتطور أو للتنمية. Both works. وهي أساسية لكل الأنشطة الإنتاجية المطلوبة لتحقيق مستويات معيشة أعلى. إن تقدم الإنسان الهائل في الصناعة والزراعة يرجع إلى الطاقة. is to translate into English. So, إن زيادة الإنتاج وتحسين نوعيته هما الطريق لتحقيق دخل يساعد على رفع مستوى المعيشة. So, what can you say this in English? Again, this is a suggested answer. Increasing production and improving its quality are the only way to achieve an income which helps to raise the standard of living. Another one, في الوقت الحاضر لا تستطيع أي دولة أن تقف بمعزل عن الدول الأخرى، ولا تستطيع دولة أن تنتج كل ما تحتاج إليه من طعام. طيب, what's the suggested answer here? At present, no country can stand in isolation from other countries. No country can produce all the food that it needs. Okay? For example, but instead of saying it needs, you can say it requires. Requires and needs are both synonyms. That's why I'm saying no one suggested answer is only correct. You can have alternatives. Okay, the part here is a dialogue. So as you see, these parts, the empty parts, you need to complete them. So you can pause the video and have the time to finish the dialogue, and then resume the video again to check the answers. Okay, here, this is another dialogue. Najat is putting on weight and she asks Heba's advice. So it's a conversation between Najat and Heba. And we have 4 empty spaces, gaps, and we need to fill them out. You pause the video at that time. Do the activity first and the dialogue, answer the dialogue. Then resume the video to check the answers. And here is the answers provided down. Okay, the last thing is fill in gaps. So this is part, a small paragraph with 5 gaps. So you need like 5 minutes to think of it, answer the questions. So you pause the video, check, first do the activity, fill in the gaps, and then resume it to check your answers. And here are the answers. So it will be, researchers from the United Nations have found that some kinds of agriculture are seriously damaging the land. If farming continues to cause so much damage, there won't be enough land left for food production. In Europe, most of the damage is due to farmers using too much chemicals. Okay, this is another filling gaps activity. At that time, as usual, we said what? Pause the video, do the activity, and then resume it to check the answers. Here is the answer. So when you need to travel, think about whether you really need to go in the car or take the bus. It's often possible to walk or ride a bike instead, and these are more sustainable ways of traveling. So here at this stage, we finished Unit 3 with all the student books activities and with the workbook activities and with extra practice. So as a kind of revision for the whole unit, and wish you all the best of luck. Goodbye.